Hello, my paper flower friends. Hey, so we're gonna make some baby's breath today. And I'm gonna show you how I started. I got all these little pieces here that we're gonna use, and we are gonna use not crepe paper. We are gonna use some, what I call text weight paper, paper that you would just print something on. And this is an 80-pound stock from a company here in the US called Paper Papers. I'm not even sure they still stock this, but just some lightweight paper would be perfect, whatever you choose. And then I have this little punch that works pretty well. And so I cut down this entire piece of 8.5 by 11 stock. And now we've got all these little pieces. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And it's going to probably be a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Time consuming, I guess. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab what's called a jewel picker, or I'll look and see what the name of it is. And I think that might help. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So I have these two implements here, these two tools. And this is basically what people use to place, well, for skaters, this is what we use to put the crystals on the dress. We use one of these or one of these. And this one is called a pick-me-up. I don't know who it's made by. Maybe Silhouette, I'm not sure. So I'm going to try to take the top off of this. See if I can figure out how it comes off. Wow. Maybe I'm not. Huh. Isn't that weird? I don't know how to make this one work. Oh, there we go. Top came off. And it has like a little bit of like an adhesive on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a tube, just a tube of any kind of glue. And I'm just going to take, and you can see some of these aren't whole, and that's okay. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue, if my glue will come out, if it's not clogged. Can't get it unclogged. Let's try this again. There we go. Oh. I'm just using a really fine gauge wire to, there we go, to open up that clog that's in there. And you can use any glue that you like. So I'm just going to come in here, separate a bunch of them out, and I'm just going to put a little, maybe a little dab of glue, maybe not. Yeah, here we go. A little dab of glue in each one. Like I said, if they're not whole, that's okay too. And then we're going to do these here, right in the center. I'm going to skip that one. Okay, so then we're going to take our picker. I'm hoping this will work. We'll find out. Yeah, take our picker, and you want to turn it so that your petals aren't all lined up to each other. There you go. Yes. And I'm just going to put it down. Grab another one and lay it down. And if they're not exact, it's quite all right. Let's see what we've got here. Oops. Here I got two. Okay, there. Okay, now I'm going to take another one and just stack them right on top of each other. That one kind of got stacked right on top of each other the wrong way, but that's okay. Okay, now we're going to come in. I know it's going to be a little crazy to do this, but I'm going to come back in with my glue, and I'm going to add another one. And do the same thing. I'm just going to grab another one. Oops, missed it. Actually, this is the one that works. This one. Just add it on top. There's no right or wrong. Just add them in there. So I'm just trying to get all the little petals to go in different directions. And it's not working 100%, but that's okay. So we're going to set these aside to dry. And after they're dry, we're going to come in here and we're just going to like frill them up a little. Like that. Just kind of, yeah, oops, see, they're not quite dry. So set those aside. So go ahead and do yours in a, with the third one. You can just do 2 if that's what makes you happy. I mean, after all, this is supposed to be fun, not tedious. It's not supposed to make you frustrated. Although, I have to admit, even I get frustrated sometimes. I don't think I have any glue on that one. No. Okay, so I've got this many done. I'm going to take these over here. There's another one. And we're just going to kind of scrunch them up a little. You know, a good way to do it would be like on the end of a dowel or the end of a pencil. And just, you know, flip them up like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of these and get them layered up. And like I said, you can do 2 layers, you can do 3 layers, you can do some of each. And then when we come back, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I did. I got all of these done in 2s and 3s, and I just did it randomly. And then I have this little dowel. I think I got this from Wendy Anderson. I think she sent me these. I think these are the kind of skewers that they use in Australia or New Zealand. So I'm just taking this and I'm just squishing those over the end of the dowel to just squish them up. And just, I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully, I know it's all white. And you can do it, that's just one by itself. You can do this with the dowel. You can just do it in your fingers too. It works fine. This goes really quickly. So I'm just taking it and just squishing it over. There. I think it's easier to do it this way than to wait until you get it on the wire. I think this just makes more sense. There we go. And you can just use any small punch that you want for this. And quite frankly, I think that you can, here, I have one here that I missed, so I'm just going to let it do it on its own. You can use any punch you want. I got this one on Amazon a while back, I think because our friend Wendy was making baby's breath. And this is a little different than hers. I use this same technique, by the way, to do Queen Anne's lace. And the Queen Anne's lace is not perfect. It's kind of still a work in progress. Maybe someday I'll do a tutorial on it. But it's got a ways to go now before it becomes tutorial worthy. And this goes pretty quickly. So like I said, I cut these out of the entire piece of that text paper that I had. And this one is pearlescent. There we go. Get them to separate. Just use your fingers to kind of squish them up around them. So you want to leave enough, the room is a little flat on the end. That's how we're going to attach our wires. And I kind of have a trick for that too. Oh, I actually didn't realize it, but I have a whole bunch of these on my pants. There we go. They do grab a little bit of static, it seems, and they have a tendency to just take on a life of their own. but I'll use those too. There's no mistakes here. It's just how it comes together. Okay, so got that done. Yoo-hoo. Okay, I'm gonna move all those aside, and we are going to use I think it's a 26 gauge wire, and I just grabbed a couple of them here. See if I can do this without. Okie doke. Okay, so I'm going to grab my wire cutters, and I'm going to cut these just a couple of inches long, and all different lengths. Like some are going to be really short, some will be a little longer. Okay, so there we go. And this is kind of the method I used for my Queen Anne's lace too. There we go. Okay, so we're going to grab our wire cutters, and I know this is a tedious process, but it goes pretty quickly. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to grab my wire cutters, and I'm just going to cut like 1/4 of an inch here. And you want it to be at a 90-degree angle. And we're just going to go in and just bend that at 90 degrees. And then I've got my hot glue heating up over here. We did have a request from some of our newer members. Okay, so welcome back. I went ahead and I created all these little hooks on here, and now we're going to attach these little hooks to our blossoms, and I have a way to do that too. You could either pick them up and do it, or however it works for you. But I've got my trusty glue gun here, and which is definitely well loved, as you can tell. I need my glasses to do this. There we go. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue where on the top of there. Of course, my glue gun doesn't want to work. Now, I may have to get a new glue gun out. There we go. Put a dot on there, and then attach it. Oop, without shaking. I don't know why I'm shaking. And it doesn't matter how it sits on there. You just want it to be on there. So I'm going to, there we go, put a little dab of glue on there, and you can just use your finger, just put it on there, like that. Oh, I got glue strings. There we go. And because you probably don't have one of these little picker things, I'll do it. I'll show you a few of them done with your fingers. Just gonna take it and put it on the back. There we go. Nope. Glue strings everywhere. Let's see, this one I bent down a little more than I should have, so put a little dab of glue on there. And the glue, I lost my glue. Let's try again. Yeah, it's on the table. There. Just put it on there. Hold it for a second. And you have to be real dainty with these, because while they are glued on with hot glue, they could very easily, this might work better. I'm going to try this just to see if this works. Yeah, that works. Might even be easier. and get better contact. See, it's a learning process. We learn a lot of different ways. So again, I'm going to just put a glue on the back of my little daisy. This is a daisy punch, I believe. And then we just put this right in there. Glue strings are everywhere. Just want to press down a little too far and bring it up. You know, I didn't really want to do it this way. I think it's better to do it with putting the glue on the back of the flower. I think you can get more glue on there, actually. Just hold it on there for a second. And knock off your glue strings. I know this is kind of tedious, but like a lot of the work we do, it's worth it. Especially if you can pick it up here. There we go. Just let it on there. So I'll just continue to do that. And when we come back, we will start putting this baby together. I keep going back to putting the glue on the wire, and I'm not sure why, but okay. So I will complete this part, and then we'll come back. So I just want to jump back in here before we come back and attach them. And I wanted to show you one of the things I'm doing as I go along is I'm taking these at the end of my finger and I'm bending them up. You know, the edges up, make them more fluffy, I guess, and then attach the glue or the wire. Let's see, we get a better one. I think it's on there better. So I just wanted to show you that. I'm just going to keep doing that with all of them, and we'll come back and finish up. Okay, so I'm going to take some of these. I have this picture. I think I showed this to you before. Just going to recap what I'm doing here. And this is what I'm trying to do. So I'm just going to keep referring back to that. And I've taken just a couple of these sprigs. And you can see how they come off and then they splay off. So I'm going to try something like that. And I've got these wires in lots of different lengths. So I've got that there, and then I'm going to take this one and take it off of here. And I need floral tape. But it is what it is. Okay. And I'm going to, there. So we've got these two, and we've got these three that come off. There's a little one right there. So I'm just gonna use tape enough on it to get it to stay. Okay, and I'm gonna do another one. Don't want to lose any of these. Okay, let's do a couple more. I'm going with 4. We just want to make sure that our little flowers are high. Or, you know what I mean? That they're not all splayed open. Okay. And I started to make this one just by doing what we're talking about. And then I can come in and I can add Here, these two, I got some here and some here. Then I'll take another one and I'll do it from here. And the one thing we want to be careful of is trying to keep the wire as thin as possible. I realize that it's going to be impossible to make it super thin like it really is. So get this one coming off here. I got some here, some here. There we go. So we're going to make just little packets, so to speak, like this. And we're just going to keep doing that. Actually, because we're going to put these in a bouquet, we don't need it going down a long way off of, all the way down the stem. So we're not going to go down much further than this. I'm going to take these and go this way. Here, let's do this one. I got these. See, here's my patch here, batch over here, and here. We're going to take that, we're going to attach it here and bring it down like this. And that's as far as we're going to go to add to the stem, and I'll show you why. I'll just grab a flower here, a flower, something I got on my desk. And if you do it like this, that you're only going to see that much, you know, unless you take it way up there, which means you could add some to the other side. And we could still do that. We could take one and put it down here. Actually, I wouldn't want that high. There we go. Add it down there. But again, we're starting to get some thickness here on the stem that we don't really want to get. So I'm going down that far. Then I'm going to take this whole piece, and we're going to put it on a decent sized wire. Cut this down. There we go. And because the wires that we're using on it are really thin. So we're just going to come in, get it stretched on there, and we're just going to bring it down. And like I said, you can come down further with yours, or not. But I'm just going to do it that way because I want it to go with our roses. You can spread them out a little more. Give them a little more 3D, so to speak. Spread them out a little. Same thing here. We'll bring these down a little. Bring these out a little. And take these this way. So there we have it. I mean, we could add just a few more on here if we wanted to, but I think it's going to be good. So if we take that and we put the flower in, pretend this is a rose, we put that in there, and it's going to sit right in there, and we're going to have that. And we'll take another one and, you know, put it here. I think it's going to be really pretty. So I'm going to keep going, and I want you to keep going too, and we'll come back and look at the finished project. I think it's gonna be great. You're gonna do awesome on this. Okay, there we go. Okay, welcome back. So here I've finished some of the baby's breath that we made, and I think one of the things you need to do is come back in and squish these flowers up a little bit after you're done. Just give them more of that baby's breath look. And I was able to make these three. One of them is just a small one, but that's okay. I don't know about you, but when I'm using baby's breath, I just kind of tear it into pieces anyway. And another thing is, see how I have some of these wires being really straight? You might want to come in and just curve them ever so slightly, just to make them look more natural. Anyway, so there's some that I did. And I think they came out pretty cool. So there you have it. Thanks so much for joining me, and we will see you again on the Paper Talk